Alright, let's dive into a story that's been making waves lately, and trust me, it's a doozy. Imagine this. A pageant queen, freshly crowned Miss North Carolina, USA, is suddenly stripped of her title just weeks before the national competition. Why? Alleged racist posts from her past have resurfaced. Now, this isn't just about a crown being taken away, it's about accountability, growth, and the messy intersection of personal history and public image. Let's break it down. First off, what makes this really interesting is the timing. Brittany Boltinhouse, the now former Miss North Carolina, USA, had just won her title in June. She was gearing up to represent her state at the 75th annual Miss USA pageant in Miami. Personally, I think the timing here is crucial. It's not just about the posts themselves. It's about how quickly her past caught up with her once she stepped into the spotlight. It raises a deeper question. How much should someone's past define their present, especially when they are in a position of influence? Now, let's talk about those posts. According to NCBeat, Boltinhouse allegedly used the N-word multiple times on social media between 2017 and 2019 under the username Sosa the Stallion. One thing that immediately stands out is the disconnect between her public image as a pageant queen and the language she reportedly used. Pageant organizations often position themselves as platforms for empowerment and inclusivity, so this kind of revelation feels like a slap in the face. What many people don't realize is that these organizations are constantly walking a tightrope between upholding their values and managing their public image. In this case, they chose to cut ties, but was it the right call? Here's where it gets even more complicated. The Miss USA organization emphasized that they believe in growth and accountability, but they also had to uphold their standards. Personally, I think this is where the conversation gets messy. On one hand, people can change, and Boltinhouse did apologize. But on the other hand, an apology doesn't erase the harm caused by those words. If you take a step back and think about it, this situation forces us to grapple with how much we value redemption versus consequences. Can someone truly grow if they are not given the chance to prove it? Or does the harm they caused outweigh their potential for change? What this really suggests is that we're living in an era where the past is never truly past, especially when it's documented online. Social media has this way of immortalizing our mistakes, and when you're in the public eye, those mistakes can come back to haunt you. A detail I find fascinating is how Boltinhouse's Instagram post after winning the title now feels almost ironic. She talked about the crown being for the underestimated, the dreamers, and those told they are not enough. But in light of these allegations, it's hard not to wonder, was she really the right person to carry that message? From my perspective, this story isn't just about one person's downfall, it's about the broader conversation around accountability and representation. Pageant organizations, like any institution, have to decide what values they are willing to stand by, even when it's uncomfortable. In this case, they chose to prioritize their integrity over giving Boltinhouse a second chance. But here's the thing. Does that decision actually address the root of the problem, or does it just sweep it under the rug? This raises a deeper question. How do we balance holding people accountable for their past actions while also leaving room for growth? It's a question that doesn't have an easy answer, and honestly, I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all solution. But what I do know is that stories like this force us to confront our own beliefs about redemption, responsibility, and what it means to truly change. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this thought. If you were in the shoes of the pageant organizers, what would you have done? Would you have given Boltinhouse a second chance? Or would you have stripped her of the title? And more importantly, why? Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about a crown, it's about who we are, who we've been, and who we want to become. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to hear what you guys think.